Hi everyone, my name is Brajesh. In this video, we are going to see how to replay messages within GCP PubSub. Whenever a message is published to a PubSub topic, it goes to subscription queue and consumer consumes that messages, and after processing, it acknowledges that message. Once the message is acknowledged, it gets removed from the subscription queue. Unacknowledged messages remain within subscription queue until those are acknowledged or the retention period is over. Once the messages are removed from the subscription queue, how can we replay them? This is exactly what we are going to understand in this particular video. Whenever we create a subscription, we can set the retention period of any unacknowledged messages. By default, it is 7 days. We can set it up to 1 hour to 31 days. However, for acknowledged messages, by default, the retention period is 0 days. But we can set it the same way as we have for unacknowledged messages. We can set it for 1 hour to 31 days. Once this policy is enabled for the acknowledged messages, all the messages that are being published to a topic goes to subscription queue, and even after the messages are acknowledged, those will remain within the subscription queue. However, based on the state of the message acknowledgement, it will be delivered to the consumer application. If it is unacknowledged, then only consumer can pull those messages. Now, if we want to replay the messages, we just need to apply a seek operation. Seek operation changes the state of a message acknowledgement. We can apply the seek operation on a specific time interval. Based on that timestamp, all the messages previous to that timestamp will be considered as acknowledged even if those are unacknowledged. Similarly, after that point in time, all the messages will be considered as unacknowledged even if those were acknowledged. All the unacknowledged messages will be delivered to consumer applications. If we have a backlog of old messages and we are building a new consumer application that is subscribing to a existing subscription, in that case, we can apply this option wherein we don't want to process the messages which were already there in the subscription queue. However, all the new messages need to be processed by the consumer application. We can apply the seek operation on current timestamp. We have another way in which we can apply a seek operation, and that is snapshot. Snapshot again changes the state of the acknowledgement of our messages. Once we define a snapshot, from that particular point in time, all the messages will be managed by the snapshot, and if we want to replay the messages, we can apply the snapshot on a subscription. We can apply the snapshot on a same subscription or a different subscription. If we apply snapshot, all the messages which are unacknowledged or acknowledged from that particular point in time when the snapshot got created will be available, and those are considered as unacknowledged, so consumer application can read those messages. With snapshot, we have an expiry time that is up to 7 days. If we have a subscription that has a message older than 7 days, snapshot will not be created. If we have a backlog of say 3 days or 4 days, in that case snapshot will be created, but the expiry time will be defined by the oldest message within the particular subscription. If we have 3 days older messages within the subscription queue which is unacknowledged, the expiry TS will be 7 minus 3 days, that is 4 days. This is all about the theory. Now we will jump into the demo to see how to apply the seek operation on timestamp, and then how to create a snapshot and apply the seek operation on the snapshot. The messages, we can replay the messages on the subscription. I have one demo topic which has two subscriptions, sub 1 and sub 2. Here within the subscription, you can see the option to replay messages. We should have the acknowledged message retention. We have another option to create a snapshot, and if we create a snapshot, then we will be able to apply snapshot on the subscription. For this sub 1, I don't have the retention policy enabled for the acknowledged messages. However, for the sub 2, if I go to these subscription, here I have marked the retain acknowledged messages. I'll pull the messages and mark them acknowledged. I'll just keep one message here for order ID 4, and this is the time when the message was published last. We can replay the messages by applying the seek operation on the timestamp. Here we have an option to apply the seek for previous timestamp. For example, here you can see messages published at 7:56:10 p.m. Now if I just apply the seek operation 6:59 p.m. and apply the seek, if I pull the messages again, all the acknowledged messages are back. Consumer will be able to reprocess the messages again. This is how the seek operation work on the past timestamp. Now I'll just replay messages and apply the seek operation on the current time. So it is 8:01 right now. And if I apply the seek operation on the current timestamp, then we will see how this behaves. If I pull the messages here, I have applied the seek operation on the current time, so all the messages which are there after current time will be available within this subscription queue. For example, if I add one message here, order ID 10, and publish it, all the messages which were there earlier are gone. Whenever we have a backlog of messages and we don't want them to be processed by a consumer, we can apply a seek operation to the current timestamp. This is one way in which we can apply the seek operation. Another way is to apply seek operation on snapshot. I have messages with order ID 2, 4 and 10. I'll just acknowledge one of the message here. At this particular moment, if I create a snapshot, I can do it with the help of create snapshot command and just give it a name snapshot 1. Create the snapshot. Once the snapshot will be created, all the messages which we are publishing now or the messages which were unacknowledged in the subscription queue will be available for pulling the messages. For example, I have the message with order ID 4 and 10 and I created a snapshot, and earlier I had the message with order ID 2 which I acknowledged before creating the snapshot. Now I'll pull again and just acknowledge this message and this message as well. So I don't have any unacknowledged message at this moment. Also, I'll publish one more message with order ID 11. And I'll pull it and acknowledge it as well. Now we will apply the snapshot, and here the same way replay messages, and this time instead of the seek operation we can do with the snapshot because we have already the snapshot created. This is enabled now, and I have created the snapshot 1. Just apply it, and if I pull the messages, I should be able to see all the messages. Once the snapshot is applied, the messages which were acknowledged before the snapshot creation are gone, but all the messages which were unacknowledged and those which were acknowledged as well are available to be pulled again within the subscription queue. Here we have applied the snapshot on the same subscription. We can apply the snapshot of different subscription onto another subscription as long as the topic is same. Here I have sub to demo topic, and now I can apply the seek operation from this replay messages. We can apply all of these operations using command line as well. Here we have two options, apply snapshot and also the timestamp. If we apply the snapshot that we have already created and apply the seek operation, then it will apply the snapshot on that particular subscription. If we pull here messages, now this subscription will have all the messages that were available after the snapshot got created. In the same way, we can apply the seek operation based on time. Here we just need to get a date, and then if we apply the same date, all the messages before this particular date time will be considered as acknowledged and remaining one will be unacknowledged. So here we will not be able to pull any messages based on the current time. We can also create these snapshot by applying the gcloud command. Here we need to give a name of the snapshot and the subscription on which we want to create the snapshot. The snapshot is created now and we can use it while replaying the messages. Here we have seen how we can create a snapshot, how we can apply a seek operation on timestamp and the snapshot. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Happy coding.